Hello, everyone. My guest today is Rod Danan. He's founder and CEO at a company called Prentus, where he matches startups with job-ready tech interns in as little as 7 days and runs a community with 165 plus bootcamp graduates. He's also a part-time data science mentor at Thinkful. Previously, he founded Donanza, an influencer marketplace for local businesses. Rod, you ready to take us to the top?
Let's do it.
All right, man. So what is the Prentus business model? I mean, are you like a recruiting agency taking 20 to 30% of placements, or is it a SaaS model? How's it work?
Yeah, so it's kind of completely new. So we do intern to perm basically as the goal. So business comes to us, they pay for like a hiring fee, you can call it. It's per intern, and we charge $1,500 for that. And then they work with us for 3 months. And if they want to hire the intern, then we charge a $1,500 hiring fee. So kind of below, recruiting fees.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Okay, so if I was going to use you, I would pay you $1,500 up front. You would go find me it's called a data science intern. I'd give them a project for 3 months. I'd still have to obviously pay. Do you pay the intern out of the $1,500 I pay you, or do I have to pay the intern directly?
It's up to you. So we only work with startups that have a mentor. So these interns are mainly looking for mentorship. We do have some startups do pay them, but some startups don't. It depends on their kind of level. So it's up to the business to decide on that.
Okay. And so is there a SaaS component here, or do you really have to wake up every month and sort of go find, 100 new companies that want to hire at least one person to build your revenue that month?
So it's definitely, you have to go out and get more customers, but so far with the customers we do have, I do interviews every week, and it seems that they are satisfied. So they kind of describe it as outsourcing your HR, which is kind of important for an early startup. Mm-hmm. And I do expect that many of them will end up being repeat customers.
Mm-hmm. When did you launch the company? When did you make your first hire through the platform?
So we launched April 20th, and the first internship started on June 8th.
Oh, love it. So you're like fresh out of the womb, dude. You launched in the middle of COVID.
Yeah, it's like I was doing that other startup before, and then we ran out of money, and then all the businesses that were focused on shut down. So the Prentus idea came in my head like that same week, and I just went straight into it.
All right. So how you do? I mean, tell me about the hustle. What did you use? How did you get your first $1,500 company to pay you?
So we built up. Like initially, the first company was $100. We were just trying to get internships started. That way we can get testimonials, which will boost revenue in the future. And then from there we went to $450, then to $600, and then I spoke with kind of an advisor that worked in recruiting, and he's like, yeah, you were charging way too cheap. And then I talked to a founder that was also saying, hey, you're charging way too cheap. So we raised it to $1,500, and you've got a few customers on that level in the past couple of weeks.
That's great. So you've obviously changed price points over the past couple of months, but total, how many companies have paid you at least $1?
It's been 8 companies now.
8 companies. Okay. And how many interns? 8, or do they do more than one?
2 have more than one. So 10 interns.
10 interns. Interesting. Now, have you been around long enough? Have any of them actually hired the interns full time?
Yeah. So the longest one is actually in their 8th or 9th week. So it's nothing has finished yet. Yep. But the plan is after the second month, then we kind of talk about whether they're planning on hiring.
So, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, you're in like learning phase right now. You're watching this stuff closely going, am I going to get another $1,500 here or not? What's going to happen?
Well, with the initial people, those, though they're not on the $1,500 plan, so it's only for the new customers. But we still want to get the bootcamp grads hired. That's kind of my main focus. And like for the first customer, they weren't really planning on hiring; they were just kind of looking for a project. But because they're so happy, they're saying maybe we're going to open up a position for that person. So that's great to hear.
Yeah. Now, how did you? Again, tell me how you found the first customer. You're doing something really challenging. You have to find companies, and you have to find interns, and you have to find companies that want to hire in the middle of a global pandemic that we've never seen in like 100 years. Some would say this guy's like insane or stupid.
Yeah, I can get that sentiment. So on the supply side, like it's actually kind of easy because a lot of bootcamp grads, they come out, and getting that first job is really tough because they don't have experience. So they're all looking for this. There's a lot of supply. And on the business side, there's startups that maybe they're not funded yet, or they're not ready to hire. So an internship lets them kind of get this low risk employee. And then if it does work out, they can hire them. But it lets them move forward before they have the cash to bring on a full team.
Mm-hmm. So, can you tell us that story? Who was the first company that paid you?
Yeah. So the first company, it was a SaaS company. They built software for executive assistants, and the guy said he saw me on Twitter. So I only have like 50 followers, and like in the beginning, I probably only had 10. So I don't know how he found me, but he said that was what he saw and ended up signing up. And
what's the company name?
Base.
Oh yeah. The Base CRM?
No, it's not Base CRM. They make software for executive assistants.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I'll have to look them up. Okay. So he saw you on Twitter, and what, he like DM'd you and said, "Hey, can you help us hire people?"
Yeah. And initially I had a sign up form. So like just like an email on my like landing page, and then he signed up for that, sent a survey to all the people on it. And he was one of the people that filled it out. And I was like, I think that company would be a great fit. So reached out and we got it started.
So did you start with him or her telling, the Base person telling you, we want this sort of intern, or did you start with a big list of interns that needed work?
So I started with a few interns. Like from my last company, I had interns working there, and also interns that were kind of getting ready to come on our company. So I had a list about 8, like going into Prentus already. So they got a designer, and ended up matching them out. And so far it's been working well. They both love it. And it's been good to hear.
So, I mean, what is your priority over the next, like, what are you doing later today after this interview? Are you focused on building the number of companies that are hiring, or trying to get more interns in your program?
Companies that are hiring. So yeah, I'm actually interviewing like a bunch of salespeople throughout this week, because I'm trying to bring on a sales team. That way we can build that out, because I'm building a platform also to do all the matching, because right now it's been all manual by me. But through that, I learned what to build with the technology.
Yeah, that's great. So what has revenue been? Or add up all your revenue the past couple of months. So we're talking like, what, 4, 5, 6 grand, something like that?
Yeah. So we're at 56, so 5.6K. And
yeah, that's great.
Should be another 750 coming in later this week. So it's going pretty well so far, especially, my last startup, I didn't make $1 in 15 months. So it's much different now.
So you were a founder of your last startup?
Yeah.
Got it. And what was that product? Just tease us a little bit.
It was an influencer marketplace for local businesses. So really focus on simplicity, but local businesses are not on Twitter, not on email lists. So I was going door to door in Miami weather.
That's crazy. And today they're all focused on, just trying to stay open and get a PPP loan and not close, right?
Exactly.
Interesting. So how much money did you spend building an MVP before you said, I got to shut this thing down. I got to kill my baby?
Oh, I spent way too much, man. First time founder. And I remember I paid a bunch of different contractors. In total, I spent $90K between contractors and then employees, and kind of went down the drain, but it was lessons.
Yeah.
All that put me on the path to build this.
And how old are you today?
Say it again.
How old are you today?
I'm 26 and just turned 26 a month ago.
So congratulations. So there's other early founders that are out of school. They can't get a job right now. They're probably really talented. They're also hustlers. They're going, where did this Rod guy get 90 grand to sort of experiment with and learn these lessons? I mean, did you raise capital, or did you just hustle and save your salary or something?
It was 401k. It was savings from my previous job. And then also a lot of credit card debt, which I do not recommend. No one do that.
Well, this is a real thing. I mean, that's a real thing though, right? So, I mean, thanks for talking about it, right? So how do you make sure that your mental state is free to build this new business while you're also now thinking about, okay, I put 90 grand down the drain. I've got to pay off the credit card debt as well.
Yeah, it's taking it one day at a time. It's like with this, it's like sometimes I'm like, yeah, I want to move faster. But if you think about the future too much, you never end up doing well in the present. So,
yep.
Like when it happens and it kind of gets more pressure, then I'll get to it. But it's right now, the focus is Prentus.
That's great. I love that. Okay. So how do you think, you said you want to hire salespeople right now. Why is that the next hire?
Because I'm handling, as a sole founder, I'm handling a lot of things. And I think sales is the one area where I'm ready to bring someone on, train that. So I can't train someone to kind of do, the customer success part or building the product or stuff like that. So sales is where I would like to get help, and then also get more momentum. Because, like I said, we have right now 110 interns that are waiting to get placed. And I don't want to lose.
Wow, that's incredible.
Trust.
You have 100. You went from 8 to 110 interns in your wait list over the past since April.
Yeah. So
how did you do that? Where did you find these people?
It's mostly LinkedIn, just posting, connecting with the right people. I've been doing some live YouTube events the past month. So that's been well. And
what is that? What if I went on your YouTube channel, what would I see?
You'd see interviews just with people in technology and the bootcamp community in general. So resume critiques. We spoke with a VP of engineering at Clorox yesterday. We spoke with a VP of technology at one of the major banks. So just people that can give advice to bootcamp grads looking for jobs. Because even if they're not, going to get hired through me, through Prentus and like be an intern, I'd still want the best for them.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So are most of these interns like fully committed to like going through your platform, or are they sort of like they signed up on 100 different recruiting platforms and they're just praying for whoever brings them the job first?
They probably signed up on a bunch, but so far, like each time I've reached out, it's been like everyone's been available. They've been like, yeah, like this opportunity, okay, I'm in for it.
Yeah, I see this. You posted yesterday on LinkedIn. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. we're going live with Jason Cox. Yeah, I mean, I can see you're clearly doing the LinkedIn thing well. This is interesting.
Yeah, and also with the interns, like like I mentioned, we have the bootcamp community. So right now we're at 212 members, and that's just general kind of forum, posting questions, and we have some people working on side projects as well. So might be some startups coming out of there.
What does that mean? So like a week ago on LinkedIn, you said you had 163 members. Now you're at 212, and you said those members were in 27 different boot camps across the United States. What does that mean?
Yeah, so it's all with bootcamp grads. There's some big ones, like you probably heard of Lambda, which is like the biggest one. But there's a bunch all across the United States, and these people all graduate and they have skills. They've worked on projects, but the next step is kind of hazy. Mm-hmm. So with the community, it's like, hey, you might not have like a Harvard alumni community, but you can have the bootcamp alumni community. You guys have all gone through this program. Now connect, work together, help each other find jobs, and sign up for our internship program as well.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, I think the core, like the best MVP today is community. Even if you're like for SaaS platforms, for anything, it sounds like you're like all in on that.
Yeah, I definitely read that on LinkedIn, Twitter. So community is huge, and yeah, overall, I think the biggest thing is just building a brand that people trust, not just on the intern side, but also on the business side.
Mm-hmm. And you bootstrapped this company, correct, or did you raise?
Not bootstrapping. Like if we have revenue now, like I think we'll be fine for a while. Like the only time I would think of raising is in case like we have to expand some sort of project, something big like that. But otherwise, I'm good for now.
Rod, good stuff, man. Let's wrap up here with the famous five. Number one, favorite business book.
Oh, favorite. So biography or just tips?
Let's do biography.
Biography, Napoleon, A Life.
Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Not a CEO, but I do like Dave Gerhardt. So I really like the copywriting stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're a LinkedIn guy, you love Dave, and you now love Privy because Dave's at Privy. And number three, what's your favorite online tool for building your company?
For what, my company?
For building your company.
I like ClickUp, honestly. That's probably the number one tool I recommend everyone.
Number four, how many hours of sleep are you getting every night?
Sleep, 8 hours at least. I'm on a strict schedule.
That's good. I like that. All right. And why are you on a strict schedule, out of curiosity?
Because you got to make every second count. Each thing you give time to has to be a priority.
That's good. All right. And what's your situation? Married, single, kids? I know you're 26.
I am single.
No kids running around?
Yeah, no kids. I live with my parents. So that's why I'm also not worried about the debt yet.
So to say, you keep your living expenses low, right?
Exactly.
All right. Last question here, Rod. What's something you wish you knew when you were 20?
That I was not going to use my degree. that would have saved me a lot of student debt too.
What did you study?
I studied information systems, but I got my bachelor's and master's. So a lot of studying, but only used it for a year and a half, I guess.
I got a big, beautiful framed receipt. Guys, there you have it. Rod, Prentus.co. His first startup sort of failed, but he spent 90 grand, did the whole credit card debt thing, learned a lot of lessons, and had the courage to shut it down and go all in the middle of a COVID apprentice to launch Prentus.co, where he's now placed over 8 interns across 10 companies. 10 interns across 8 companies, and is hoping to scale his community and continue helping these bootcamp graduates find jobs, even in a time when, again, a lot of people are not hiring. So, Rod, we're rooting for you, man. Thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you for having me.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it, and the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.